Do you spend more time considering other people's thoughts and feelings than you do your own? My name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is look inside yourself. If you would like a dope soundtrack to go with today's video, you can look up 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐜, the Ukrainian artist 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐫𝐾𝐭. Thank you very much, Anya. And just find the song called Look. That would definitely be a perfect echo of what I'm wanting to talk about. Any video by hers is amazing. She's so strange and lovely. I was listening to 𝐬𝐮𝐬𝐾's Look today, and I was like, yeah, this is really hitting home with something I do want to talk about, which is how often are you looking to see how someone else is feeling? How often are you empathing? Are you considering how others might feel if you don't do this or if you do that? And driving your life and having your actions be based on consideration of others. And how often are you taking action, doing things, making choices based on how you feel? I, as you and every single person that ever watches this video in their lifetime, am on the neurodivergent spectrum. We're all on that spectrum. Life is a vast array of spectrums. And in that spectrum, there are things like sensory overload. There are things like, there's just different traits. Many people that are at a certain place on that spectrum do not like to be on the phone. Heather Feather does not like to be on the phone. Part of that is I don't understand some social normative things. You know what I mean? I don't always necessarily understand unless I can see your face, unless I can feel you and what you're doing, unless I can get the context of tone and cadence and all these different things that can be richer and clearer when we are face to face. I find phone calls very difficult. I'm having to exercise a lot of energy to ensure that understanding is gleaned. A lot of people on the phone will talk to other people and not be present with the fact that they're talking to you, and my attention is also quite precious. And so one of the things that I've done as I've aged more in this life is started giving more voice to people. I don't like to be on the phone. I don't like it. Doesn't mean if you call me that I'm not grateful to hear from you, grateful to catch up. People are always welcome to call Heather Feather, trust. And as a person who has a nonprofit that she runs and works a full-time job, which includes the phones, I'm not going to spend my free time picking up the phone to give you a call is the point of that statement. But a lot of people may take that to mean that I don't like them, I don't love them, I don't want to hear from them, I don't want to talk to them, I don't care about your story, I only care about my story. The problem is that when we start to give voice to what does and does not work for us, when we start to look inside the self, when I look at myself and I go, what do I want to do with my day? Never in my day do I think I should call so-and-so. Like, the thought doesn't even cross my mind because it's not how I want to spend my time. My brain may think, oh, so-and-so's in town, let me connect with them so that we can meet up, so that we can go for a hike, so that we can go visit the hot springs, so that we can go enjoy an experience together since we're in the same area and available. But my brain doesn't want to make phone calls. That's not like, my brain thinks, study this, research that, like investigate that, make a class, teach this. You know, that's what my brain's doing. Teach their own. For most of my life, I did not articulate that. It's just like, phone calls are part of life and this is what I gotta do. And I've started expressing it, and people are making up whatever story they want to make up about me saying, I don't want to be on a phone call. It's like saying, I don't want to go hunting, right? It doesn't mean if you're a hunter, I judge you, or if you invite me to go hunting, I'm judging you, or that I'm above you because I don't hunt. I just don't want to go hunting. Hunting is not a thing that interests me. And so it's funny because people can take things personally, and if you are an empathetic person, if you are somebody that tends to be more outward focused, tends to be more attentive to how others are feeling, you may be making choices in your life that aren't actually aligned with your desire. I have so much empathy, and it's been in many of my past life profiles. It's often one of the life skills I've developed in a large array of past lifetimes I've had is empathy, and I feel that. I feel the world's pain. I feel people when I'm with them. I feel people in a cafe when I'm with them. I have a lot of developed empathy, and I can drown in my own waters, if you will. And so I have to be attentive because empathy can cause you to, if you're too empathetic and the volume is too high and you're feeling too much outside of yourself, you might drown in your own waters and get depressed or have suicidal ideation or stew in some darkness as you start to stew in other people's heart of the matter. And so what I'm working to do as I've aged and I'm now 50 is to pay more attention to looking inside of here. How does Heather feel? How does Heather feel? When I go on a date, oftentimes there are things that are happening that are not a match to what I seek. One of the things I look for in a date is, are they asking me any questions? To me, it's indicative of them having interest in me as a person and not just my body and sex. If you're interested in me, you'll likely ask me questions to get to know me. What I am interested in when I date someone is getting to know their mind and their heart. I'm also demisexual, sapiosexual. I'm attracted to emotional intelligence and intelligent quotient or high intelligence. And so if I'm not connecting with your mind and your heart, then you're not going to be much of a lover to me. So I might ask a lot of questions. If I'm nervous, I might rapid fire a lot of questions that feel a little overwhelming. And I'm paying attention to these qualities. Are you asking me questions? Are you trying to get to know me? Do you tend to just talk about yourself endlessly? Like, how does the conversation feel? Does it feel empathetic? Does it feel like you have heart present with me? What's happened to me a lot in the past years, a lot of people have gone on one date with me. They've expressed romantic, sexual, whatever interest, and then they just ghost. They just never contact again, or never cause us to come together again to create any type of connection, sexual interaction, romantic union. And good, you know what I mean? I am not looking for a lover that isn't interested in knowing my mind, my heart, my spirit, and my body, because all four quadrants I constantly work to develop. And if I'm going to have a lover, the meat on the bones is having intellectual interests. You know, my grandma would say, if you're going to sleep with somebody, make sure you want to talk to them in the morning. You know, having emotional interest, them being able to be as outward focused as I can be, having spiritual development, otherwise you don't get to know that slice of my being, and having sexual interest in chemistry. But so when someone ghosts me, luckily I have self-esteem and I just go, wasn't a match. Not that it doesn't hurt, it does. I don't understand it. I don't understand why grown individuals don't communicate, but takes all kinds to make a world. There's 8.2 million people down here. And so if somebody exits stage left, by all means, please do so. I'm looking for those people that light up in my company. I'm looking for those people that I light up in your company. However, there's this piece around, I can be on a date that's not that interesting, not that pleasant. They're not asking me questions. They're not trying to get to know me. I'm not experiencing interest from them. Energetically, I'm experiencing more of a high horseness or more of a judgmentalness from them. I'm experiencing that the conversation feels constipated and less organic based on the energy they're bringing to bear. But I'm still asking questions and working to be a good conversationalist so that we're not just staring into each other's souls for an hour or two, you know? And what I find is a lot of times the person I'm on the date with is not checking my boxes. They're not meeting my needs. They're not really all that interesting to me. But because I have a tendency to have all this empathy and constantly consider how others feel, I'm very curious in the day. How do they feel? Is this comfortable? Am I asking too many questions? Am I giving pregnant pauses so we can sit in some silence? You know, are they asking me questions? And then after that, are they going to call me? And as I've aged more and as I step more towards the grave, I have started to realize, like, I don't know that I want them to call. Like, I kind of feel like it's a blessing that they ghosted, because it really ultimately, even though we had a nice time or went to a nice place or were able to have a few giggles, you weren't really a match to what it is that I seek. How often do you look inside yourself? Look inside to see, is this a match for me? Is this friendship a match for me? You know, I have a lot of extroverted people that'll work to be friends with me, but I am not an extrovert and I don't like to be on the phone and I'm not going to reach out to you. So if friendship to you is connectivity and showing up, or if your love language is time and attention, then I'm going to be deficient in that because I have a lot of special interests that I want to pursue, you know? What I am aware is that I don't want to be with super judgmental people. And sometimes I'm connecting with and meeting and dating a judgmental person. And it's not until I get away from them and they reject that I recognize, oh, I didn't want to be with them either. Are you honest when you're with yourself when something is a no? A friendship, a lover, a familial relationship? Are you being clear, or are you just avoiding having to set boundaries or say the difficult thing so that they reject you first so that you can feel comfortable? You can always subscribe to Rare Bird Medicine on YouTube. Heather always loves your thoughts on Moon.